Well, hello again, and welcome to Fossilbuster. Um, and this little second series of videos is about inspiration, because as I've mentioned before many times, motivation and inspiration are an essential part of learning a second language. It is just such a huge task that you must have it. Now, I'm retired now, but I do work with a small group of highly selected students. Now, I don't work as a group, I work individually, either online or face-to-face, but this group of students are all highly motivated, and I see myself more like a doctor. When there's something wrong, you go to your doctor, right? And you find out what's wrong, and then he gives you advice, and he gives you the medicine, and you go away and you try it, and if it works, that's fine. You don't see him again for a while until you have another problem. So that's very much a good model, I think, for the way in which I work. I don't certainly see myself as a teacher, although I certainly can teach anything that's required to me in my area, but I see myself more like this doctor, diagnosing problems and then suggesting strategies for you. Now, as I said, to get back to these successful students, I want to talk about these successful students in my group that I'm working with. And these are all people who are highly motivated. They all have extrinsic motivation. That is to say, they've usually had something like a job to motivate them. They want to get a good job, or a better job, or a promotion, or they want to do a test or something like that. So their goals have always been very clear. Now, the things that characterize these people, the components of success in a student, I would clarify as, I want to talk about a few of them now today. The components of the success, what are they? Well, definitely they've all had clear goals. Maybe not at first. At first your goals may not be clear, but after a while your goals do become clear. Then you'll become a good student. They've all been single-minded, and that means they are able to focus on learning the language. They don't make excuses about time. They all make time. They all are busy people. They have families, jobs, courses, hobbies, all the rest of it, but they give their language learning priority, all of them. So if you want to be successful, you must be prepared to give the time to it. They've all got determination. They've all got stamina. Stamina is just determination extended over a long period. I can think of many students of them which have show great determination. They all have accepted advice when I've given it to them. Now, not all students do that, but all these successful ones have done that. I don't really give a lot of advice, but when I do, the ones who follow it are successful. So another thing is, all of these students are regular. They study regularly. I mean every day. Every day. I'll give you lots of examples of this. So let's go through them. I'll start with two really exceptional students who both were looking for 4.8s in the IELTS test. And I can tell you that's a very significant challenge to get 4.8s. And they wanted to be teachers, kindergarten teachers, early childhood teachers in Australia. You have to have 4.8s. And moreover, you can't just get the 4.8s in different sessions. You have to do them all in one session. You have to get 4.8s in listening, reading, writing and speaking, all in the one session. A totally unfair and unjust system, a cruel system, I would even say. And both of my students several times got 3.8s, but failed in one of the skills to 7.5 or 7, and they were not accepted. So they continued for, in both cases, for almost a year with me. That's a very long time. Now my goal is always to make you an independent learner. It's to make you independent of me. It's actually not a very good business model, which is why I don't really see it as a business. My goal is to make you independent. But in some cases where the goal is very high, like in these two ladies, their goal was very high. The extended period of advice was about a year. Almost every day a Skype class for a year. Now that is what I call determination and stamina. Now they both achieved it in the end, and of course they are both unforgettable students to me because of their determination and their stamina and their single-mindedness and their regularity and their willingness to make time and to accept the advice that I gave them. Those are the key components. They're all in my Fossilbusters videos, all those components. You'll recognize them. But these are two examples of students who are absolutely outstanding. Now, other students also equally outstanding, but with different goals. I remember one lady who used to travel to my home, which is about an hour and a half away from where she lived in Adelaide, and to have a class and then go back again. So that's 3 hours traveling. And that's what I call determination. But she had a different problem. She found she arrived in Australia and she couldn't understand her lecturers. Her lecturers were speaking, quite fast, and her listening skills weren't up to it. So she needed some classes with me as well, and she stayed with me, I think, for about 6 months. And then after that, she became independent, and now she's runs her own very successful business in the city. So that's my goal, to make you independent, not to keep you paying money to me. No, that's not the plan. I like the money. I like the money like everybody else, but no, that's not the goal. It doesn't work that way. So then I think of another highly successful student I had who had brilliant study skills and cognitive power is the way I would describe her. Always a very high achiever at whatever she turned herself to. And in the case of the language, she was with me for the IELTS test, and very, very quickly she got her 4.7s. I think she was only with me for 6 weeks to 2 months. She got her 4.7s. So then she was looking for, her goal was permanent residence, and of course they require for permanent residence you need there's a points system, and they said to her, well, if you do another test, another English test called the Pearson test of English, the PTE, I would call it the notorious PTE, then if you pass at a certain grade, then we'll give you more points towards your permanent residence. So she started to study for that. Now, the Pearson test of English, for those of you who don't know, has become quite popular because it's all done on computer. The test is taken on computer. The questions are designed on computer. The questions are marked on computer. So I don't really understand how language, in terms of your performance, can be all designed, marked and assessed on a computer. I really don't think that's pedagogically sound. And however, it is what it is, and if I were in their position and I was good at this test, why not do it? I mean, so anyway, she decided to do this PTE test, and to her horror, to her surprise, she found that she didn't get the grades that she required. Now this was very upsetting to her. So what did she do? She said, okay, no more classes, tutor, teacher, mentor. I'm going to go onto the internet. I know where all the templates are for this. I can find out how to do this. I know I can pass this test. And I thought, what? No, surely not. Well, 3 weeks later, she reappeared, not a class from me. This is not a very good advertisement for me, but not a 3 weeks later she appeared, and she got 4 9s in her PTE. Now, I take off my hat to her, because that is not easy to do. And it's a tribute to her mental acuity or power that she was able to do that. However, it also, in my opinion, is a damning indictment of that test. There are ways, as a kind of a formula out there on the internet somewhere, I don't know where it is, and which will enable people to somehow crack the code of the PTE. Good luck to her, that's what I say. If you can do that, fair enough. But, a remarkable student in many, many ways. And she stayed with me. So what often happens is that I start with a student, and then the professional relationship develops into a friendship. And I'm still friends with all of these students, I hope. And yeah, that's fine with me. That's fine with me. We just have a short period at the beginning of consultation and mentoring. Now, I have other examples as well. Lots of examples. 2 ladies who were also with different goals. One wanted to set up her own tour guiding business in her home country. So she had a quite specific goal there. And again, she was 2 classes per week, 2 hours each, regular as clockwork. And this is the other thing I haven't quite mentioned is, well, I did mention it just at the beginning. It's the regularity that's important. Every day. She was studying every class. She never missed a class. It's priority. Its regularity is very important. So, anyway, an outstanding student, and went on to set up her own tour guiding business, and I'm sure it's doing very, very well now. Yes, there are other ladies with more modest goals, but still specific goals and clear, just to get a job. They're often ladies who have children, a husband's working, they're living in their home country, they need more money, so they want to use their English skills to teach English. And I have 2 of those who have now successfully got jobs as English teachers in their home country. And one who's not an English teacher, but she's got a job, and she's hoping to become an English teacher as well. Again, both these students characterized by regularity and not always doing the class. Now, also, some of these students, they just become friends, and friendship is also a goal. There's no reason why that isn't a legitimate goal at all. That can be a legitimate goal. It requires a certain type of vocabulary. So yes, friendship is good, and it can continue along those lines. Now, who else? Well, I have to mention another gentleman student who also needed specific, he worked out that he needed to improve his customer service skills. He's working in customer service in Australia, which is not easy as a second language learner. And he was very serious, and he asked me lots of questions, and I was able to tell him, make suggestions to him, and he followed those suggestions, and he's improving, definitely improving his customer service skills. So it's very pleasing and inspiring for me when I get this feedback. This is what keeps me going, and has kept me going for the last 7 years. Another recent student arrived from overseas with a very low level of English, and her goals were, I think, eventually to get a job in her own area of IT. But of course, as is very common at the beginning, that was not possible. So she had to, work in a cleaning job. And in fact, in order to get the visa, she had to enroll in a language college, which is not a very efficient way of learning English, actually. So she was in the language college, and she had 2 jobs, one in the evening and one during the daytime. So she had no time then to actually study and improve her English. So at first her English was slow to improve, but she recognized her goals weren't quite aligned. So she changed her goals, and she stopped the language college and used that time in order to study English on her own. And eventually I think she gave up one of the jobs as well. So now she's on course, she's doing very well, and I'm sure she will very soon achieve her goals. So all of these people have really inspired me. And I just want to repeat that the components of the success are quite simple. Clear goals, single-mindedness, determination, stamina, regularity, and a willingness to accept just a little advice. Okay, well, I hope that this gives you an idea of what has inspired me to teach or to mentor, whatever you want to call it. If you've enjoyed the video, please do like and share it. See you next time. Please leave your comments on this video. If you want to contact me, you'll find my address in the description below.